watching the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
Do you think this is the right place for him?
You'd say that about any place. My brother's dying. He hasn't talked in years.
I'm so sorry. My wife passed away.
My dad died when I was 3.
Christ, it ain't a competition.
Well, that is a trailer for the new coming-of-age film Suncoast, debuting this week. It stars big names like Woody Harrelson, Laura Linney, Nico Parker, and some could say Tampa Bay has a supporting role. The movie is set in Pinellas County in 2005, primarily at a Suncoast Hospice care center. And it's about a young woman dealing with her brother's serious illness and his experience in hospice care. And joining us now is Jonathan Fleece, the CEO for Empath Health, which now supports Suncoast Hospice. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Linda, for having me. It's a pleasure.
So the movie is semi-autobiographical, portraying the director's personal journey. Caring for her brother, tell us more about that.
It is. It's really a beautiful coming-of-age film that Laura Chen, writer and director, put together. But it is her story, and she takes the audience back right from the very opening scene in the film to when she was essentially the caregiver for her brother Max, who was dying of brain cancer. And it really walks the audience through their journey and their experience, but in the backdrop of Terry Schiavo. And as many in this community will remember, Suncoast Hospice took care of Terry Schiavo. So it's both their story and really is mostly the Chen story, but at the same time, the Terry Schiavo experience was occurring. So
difficult subject to talk about sometimes, but we can tell obviously in the movie that there's going to be humor. So do you think that it helps just to put this in a movie form and see people laughing while they're still going through a trying time, to open up the doors to talk about this?
Absolutely. People ask me sort of what is the takeaway kind of feeling after watching the film, and we had the pleasure of seeing it at the Sundance Film Festival, and it really is truly like the audience just falls into the family's circumstance and we walk along with them. And like end-of-life experiences for many, there are times for tears, there's times for laughter, there's times for intense emotions, anger, sadness, empathy. All of that is in the film, and I think the audience will really be able to relate to just how human the film really is.
And what does hospice care do, or your workers, how do they help a family get through these difficult moments?
So we basically focus our mission on providing full life care. What does that really mean? What we focus on at Empath Health, Suncoast Hospice, and our hospices across Florida now is we're as much about living as we are about helping people through the end of life. So empathy and providing care, providing comfort, opening the door for conversations, because every family, every patient is different. You know, they're primary colors, but if you take the 3 primary colors and try to put it on a piece of canvas, the art is always going to look a little different. So while every end-of-life experience has similarities, every situation is also very different. So we meet families where they are and really walk them through that journey and what they need.
A lot of families have difficult even talking about there will be an end of life and what do you want. What are your suggestions on how to open up that discussion with family members?
It's a great question, and I'm so pleased that Laura Chen is really teeing this opportunity up for not just Tampa Bay, but for Florida and the nation. This is going to be, I think, a wonderful opportunity to have those table conversations with your family. I will approach it in 2 different ways. I'll take my own situation. So I'm 56, healthy, at least the best that I know. My wife and I have advanced directives. You know, we've talked through what happens in the event of a tragic accident or a terminal illness. Who will be the decision maker and what are our wishes? So those circumstances, I think, are always the best. Talk about end of life when there's not a crisis.
We have to go, Jonathan, but I will say, from someone who's been on the flip side, that losing family members, it is easier if you do have that paperwork. already done and
Absolutely.
the conversation already discussed.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And Suncoast will be in select theaters across the country on Friday, including at AMC Veterans in Tampa, and it will stream on Hulu starting February 9th.